Hello, this is Joe83. This is round 3 of AOR this season. We're here at Hanoi, which is a brand new circuit for league racing, which is going to be quite interesting. It's definitely a circuit where a lot of incidents are probably going to happen because obviously it's a street track, it's really high speed, and yeah, everyone doesn't really like it. It's the general feel of it. I'm not a massive fan of it. I think it's okay. I'm not as massively against it as some people, but yeah, it's not great. There's definitely circuits I would rather drive. But here we are in qualifying for my first lap, 15 minutes left in the session, back in the Alfa Romeo for AOR. I obviously, if you missed last race, sorry, didn't go and check it out, I managed to take my first win of the season around Bahrain, which was very nice. And yeah, 2 podiums so far. We got second in Australia and first in Bahrain. So hoping to get a podium this week, hopefully just not make any mistakes, and I'll probably take that, to be honest. But now down the first DRS straight on this track, coming down to the second roundabout section, braking just below the 100-meter board. You can absolutely obliterate this first apex of that chicane over the second one as well, and keeping it nice and wide up to that wall. And we've got a new driver this week as well, Big Z, who's the Haas car directly in front of me on the track. You might be able to see him in the distance there. He came down from Tier 1, so that's another driver who's going to be well in the fight for sure for the race wins. So difficult driver to beat, and that's another challenger. Obviously, I've been at the front most times, so I hope to be there again this time. And down this ridiculously long straight, it's just stupidly long, braking just after the 100-meter board down to second gear. Try to keep it away from the curbs. Missed the first one nicely, but a little bit on the exit on the right side, and a little bit of oversteer as well, which isn't going to help. But down towards this next corner, the last sector I actually quite enjoy, braking just about 70 meters over that curb nicely, not getting unsettled too much, and yeah, just accelerating up through the gears through this high speed, a flat out section of the track, and then try to keep it nice and close to the walls, almost clipping that inside wall there, but nicely done. And fifth gear over that curb, and then again fifth for the third last corner. Sorry, second last corner is very difficult. I could never really get my line through there very comfortably. And I found a corner of the track, fourth gear actually. And Bigsy sets the purple lap with a 33.7. I'd go just behind him on a 33.8, so a tenth and a half off pole at the minute. That's obviously my first run, so I've got plenty of time to improve. And you can see 6 minutes left. This is my second lap, and braking just outside the 100-meter board for this corner, second gear, a little bit wide, so getting a nice exit, although not a good exit at all. Loads of oversteer there in second gear, and that's going to cost me a little bit of time. We lost about 2 or 3 tenths maybe there, and I've got to try and earn it back through the final sector now, and through this high-speed section. We didn't quite get it nailed last time, so maybe a little bit of time to gain on this section, but not quite close enough to the inside wall there. And yeah, 6th gear and down to 5th for this next section as well, and just about up in my time, but through this third last corner once again, this is going to be very, very close as whether I improve. But no, broke a little bit early there, gaining time, but they're not a very good exit at all. And yeah, 10th down, so even if I do improve, it's going to be very minimally. And yeah, it's a 2,000th down. You can see we set pretty much an identical lap time, but I'm only third at the minute. My teammate Riley, who is gone ahead of me as well, in second, and Bigsy's still on pole position. And it's my last lap in quali, trying to take it nicely into turn 1, second gear, and getting it nicely turned in over the curb on the exit, try to get it hooked up. There's a Taurus on the inside, which should be okay to get out of the way. Yeah, and this next corner a little bit wide there, but you can get away with that, and clipping the front wing, unfortunately. And yeah, that's that lap over. So my banker lap was the one that mattered, and unfortunately it was only good enough for third place. So it was definitely a pace for pole in there. No one really improved towards the end of the session, but either way, third is still a good place to start. And you can see a little bit of a gap back to fourth with Scotty made it in the Williams. 16 drivers on the grid, and yeah, I actually had to restart, which is why I was trying to start my mediums, but no, starting on the softs like we qualified on, and going soft hard for the race, and onto the grid then, and having to load this up again, obviously, because it's a new lobby. And yeah, 5 red lights for the Vietnam Grand Prix for the first time in AOR's history. We are underway, here we go, and unfortunately I've got another lag start, so yeah, my lights went out literally about 3 or 4 seconds before everyone else, because I'm the host. Unfortunately, this time I actually got a legal overtake, so I had to get the place back straight away to Riley, who's actually got the lead of the race, and Bigsy in second. And then that's going to leave me very open to attack from Scotty made it. He's going round my outside into Williams. He started on mediums, which is pretty interesting considering he definitely qualified on softs, but whatever. And then down towards the next corner, just by keeping Jack L behind in the Red Bull. But yeah, pretty poor start. Obviously, it's really frustrating because it doesn't really matter where I qualify. I know I'm just going to stay there. There's no way I can make positions off the grid with this glitch, because every week I'm just going to get the lights go out way too early, which is pretty frustrating. But what can you do? I've actually lost the place this time as well because, yeah, Scotty obviously took advantage of me letting everyone through. But now down the straight, he's got a bit of a gap, so obviously he's not got the slipstream from Bigsy. I have got the slipstream on him and a bit of overtake mode. And down the outside of this massive straight, and it got the inside line for the hairpin. And you can see Bigsy's retaking the lead from my teammate Riley, who I need them to fight really if I'm going to catch up, because the pace was pretty similar in qualifying. But meanwhile, I get a a fine run through there. Actually, all over the curves on exit, that could give Scotty another chance because that run was not good at all. And now down towards next corner, he's all over my back end, but no, he thinks better of it. And I brake nice and late and don't really give him a chance to send it, but I'm wide once again, so potentially he could stick with me, but no. By the end of lap 2, you can see just about got within a DRS window of Riley, my teammate, which is absolutely crucial, setting the fastest lap as well, because I'm closing on these two. And luckily, as a DRS is about to be enabled there, I've just about got within a DRS window of my teammate Riley and Big C in the lead. So just hopefully we can stick in the train now. And I'm not desperate to make an overtake, although Riley has gone pretty wide there. So there might be an opportunity down this second straight, but a little bit too far back it looks like. But rich mix nonetheless. And yeah, 1 lap later, we were able to stay in the DRS zone, although a little bit wide there, almost hitting the wall. But no. This time we're a lot closer. We're within half a second now rather than a second as it was last time, and second gear around the first corner and trying to keep it nice and smooth through here. Obviously the main thing for this part of the race is just not make mistakes and not to get damage or anything. Meanwhile, Riley has made a pretty big mistake there, gone very wide through turn 3, and now down the DRS straight, you're going to have a big opportunity as he's got a pretty poor exit, and I'm going to switch to the inside. He's going to let me through because I have massive overspeed there and a much better exit, so no point really fighting. And this could give me an opportunity as well because obviously Big C is the leader. He has no DRS or anything or slipstream. So around this roundabout section, if I get a pretty good exit, we could have a chance to take the lead of the race and make 2 moves in the space of 2 DRS zones, which would be very nice. And yeah, overtake mode well and truly on. We've got DRS coming up shortly, but I might be past him anyway. Got absolutely gaining on him in the slipstream and down the outside. DRS open now, but we're already in the lead of the race and taking the DRS just for a bonus. And that's going to allow Riley to go up the inside of Big C as well, which is perfect for me because I'm pretty sure in the long term, Big C definitely has more pace than Riley. So for me, at least, if I get my Riley ahead of him, that's pretty good because I can hopefully now bolt away and really push as hard as possible and maybe hit the DRS window if I got the pace. But by the end of the lap, because I think Riley hit the wall at some point in the last sector, that means that he's holding up Big C into next week. I've set the fastest lap of the race and broken that second window by the end of lap 4. So yeah, 2.3 seconds now, which is a pretty comfortable gap. My team Riley had to pit with that damage, and you can see the gap is pretty huge, and unless something bad happens, unless I make a big mistake or something, and we should have this gap sorted, although that's something that's going to throw a spanner in the works a little bit, is a safety car, because it came out a pretty perfect time, because I was probably going to pit that lap anyway. Obviously we're going to get a free pit stop, but also it's going to bring everyone back into a massive train, especially Big C, who's, yeah, I managed to break the DRS window, which was absolutely perfect, but unfortunately this is going to bring him back onto my diffuser, and yeah, I'm still going to be in the lead, I think, because everyone is going to peel into the pits, surely, but yeah, unfortunately the gap I made went to waste, and I think I drove very well in that first stint, so hopefully I can do it again on the hards, although it's going to be much harder to do that because, yeah, Big C will be right on my tail. I doubt we're going to get the gap because it was pretty much made by my teammate Riley being absolute roadblock, but he's not be able to do that this time. Luckily we're still in the lead, nothing untoward going on in the stop, and yeah, going to lead the safety car throughout these next few laps. And my teammate Riley is going to be out in about 8th place because he obviously didn't get the free pit stop, but he can hopefully fight back for the rest of the race. But on the restart now, we can go absolutely a snail's pace. It's my prerogative when I want to go, and I don't want to go yet because I just want to leave everyone as late as possible so I get as much of an advantage, really, because obviously when I go, no one's expecting it, and I can get a big gap. So around the second last corner, not even going yet, still trying to warm the tyres up. They're absolutely stone cold on the right-hand side there. And a few drivers in the pits, I think they must do a damage. But we go now, and I don't even use the ERS because we've absolutely dropped Big C already. It's going to be up to about 0.6 of a second by the time we get to turn 1, and break in nice and late 100 meters and try and get it turned in. But the tyres are absolutely freezing. They're about 70 degrees, and unfortunately my rear tyres are having none of it and almost spinning on the exit of turn 2 there, which would have been absolutely horrific. And the run through turn 3 has been so slow. It's going to give Big C a big chance if he can get a good exit here. But it looks like I've got a pretty good one, and up into overtake mode, it's going to fend off any attack. And a few laps later, like 14 now, and Big C is well and truly stuck with me. And so Scotty, actually, he's still within DRS range. Big C just about in that slipstream, and you can see the gain is ridiculous to the DRS. He's just gained a 10th on like the short straight, and through the this section, try to keep it nice and clean, the chicane, and over the curves pretty heavily, and keeping it as far to the right as possible until you want to duck in and take this shortest line you can through that exit. And unfortunately Big C is within half a second, and with this amount of straight that's about to come up, he's going to be well and truly on my tail by the end of it. And using it all the overtake I can, but I feel like to waste it all at this stage of the race is pretty foolish because you've got a long way to go still. And unfortunately Big C is gaining absolutely tons. He's going to go down the inside into the hairpin, and I've got to leave him the space, and unfortunately a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but he leaves a little bit of space on the exit there, I wasn't fully over the curve, and unfortunately he's taken that position. I know that he's a very tough guy to overtake. He's a very good racer, but very hard racer as well. So yeah, any sort of moves are going to be very robust, and luckily I managed to stay with him 1 lap later, and you can see I'm in the situation that he was now. Actually, he's going to go very wide there. That could give me a chance, as we did on Riley earlier in the race. He's got a pretty compromised exit, and DRS open. Obviously, it's not fantastic to overtake into here because you got the massive straight in just a second, but I'm going to go for it anyway. We've got the overspeed, so might as well, and break in nice and late. Just pull the 100-meter board and second gear for the second part, and got that move done and dusted into the roundabout section. Although taking a pretty narrow line there, that isn't ideal, as he's going to have a pretty good exit here. But using nice a little bit of overtake mode, and half a second is not usually enough, but it might be on this occasion, as the exit was pretty good, and using a lot more overtake than I did before, down to 30% on the ERS on the bottom right there, and he wasn't close enough, luckily. But I feel that's later lap 18 now, and I've gone a little bit wide in the first part, which could give him a big chance, because you can see the gaps behind us two have absolutely extended into next week, with Riley up into third now and Bigsy just behind me still, and only 0.4 of a second is definitely close enough. I'm having to use as much ERS as I can, but I can't afford to use all of it, because once it gets below 10% you start losing time and you can't really get it back that easily. And Bigsy this time switched the outside, looks like. I'm covering the inside line, but I know there's not really much point fighting, because yeah, he's just going to have massive overspeed and take that position quite easily actually into the hairpin. And he's got comfortably a few car lengths ahead by the time we actually get to the braking zone, and he takes that position up into the lead of the race, and I've just got to stick with him. Luckily, it's quite easy to stay with cars because of the massive DRS zones, and braking pretty late there, almost thinking about one of the inside lap later, but yeah, nothing doing, and it got a pretty poor exit there, so we've got to be on it through this final sector, which luckily we were. And yeah, lap 20 now, and through this final sector, Callum Teasdale's retired from the session. That might cause something. Bigsy's gone pretty wide there actually, which might be interesting, but yeah, around the final corner, he's actually going to be a VSC deployed, which, yeah, if it was a full safety car, I might have tried to pit, but obviously we just went past the pit lane, so I don't think anything would have happened. And you can see Scotty's actually pitted, so he might be one to watch towards the end of the race if his pace is good on the softs, as these hards are not looking too good now. But the VSC out, obviously, is crucial not to speed under it, because that's a drive-through penalty, which pretty much ends any chance of your race going well. And yeah, through this turn 2, VSC about to end. I'm very little on the delta, but going way too slowly here. You can see it's down to almost a second on a delta. Bigsy's nailed it a lot more than I did, and the gap, which was about half a second or maybe 7/10 before, is up to 1.2 seconds. And we've got to really use all my ERS now to try and just get back in the window of the DRS, but I don't think it's going to happen. And through this section, we've got to really nail it to try and get it within the activation window of the 1 second. It's on the cusp, really, and Bigsy trying to get a good exit here to break that window, because if he breaks his window, it might be all over. I don't know if I got the pace to catch up to him, and unfortunately, it's just over a second as he crossed the line for the detection point. Yeah, no DRS on this occasion, and unfortunately, Bigsy has broken that window because of the VSC. And because I messed up the restart quite a lot. And yeah, 1.7 seconds now, and a few hours later we got it down to 1.5, 1.3 actually. He's made a bit of a mistake there, so we are closing, but not really close enough at all. We've only got 4 laps left now, and only going to be 3 laps after we finish this one. And we've just about got it under a second once again, and round the final corner we are going to have DRS on this very short straight, the start finish straight. Which is going to help me close in, hopefully. And we've got not long left. It's going to go down to the wireless race. And lap 26 now, we kept closing in again and again. And luckily this time we are pretty close. So we've got 2 laps remaining after this one finishes. And we're definitely close enough for a move here. The DRS is going to open at just about now. And we've got Rich Mix and a little bit of ERS to use. We're going to use it down to 10%. The race is almost over, so might as well use it now. I'm going to go down the outside and maybe think about a move, but he's going to break nice and late. And unfortunately, nothing doing. He's got the inside line, maybe line for the switchback, because it's such a slow corner that switchbacks don't really happen. But we've got a pretty good exit here using ERS again, which might be a bit unexpected. Running outside into this section, surely not. Braking nice and early. He goes extremely deep on the brakes, locks up, and that's going to give me a switchback move, and back into the lead of the race we go. And that was a lovely little battle, if I do say so myself. I'm very happy with that move, as I didn't expect it going into that corner, but he broke way too late. But unfortunately for me, I just couldn't break the toe at all. And he's going to get a massive slipstream once again. I'm using all I can. The fuel is very little, and I've got no ERS to play with at all. But only 1 lap to go after this one. Bigsy's going to sell me the dummy and go down the inside and flying on the brakes. I broke pretty early there. He absolutely sent it and got that move. A very good dummy for him. I didn't expect him to go down the inside there. Very well done, but he's got the lead back. But this leaves me in a pretty okay position, really, because with 1 lap to go, we could, if we're still within DRS range, have the biggest chance down the back straight. And you see DRS open here, just trying to save all I can, all the ERS and fuel I can do to try and save it for this section. It's crucial we get a clean run through here, no mistakes, and Bigsy going pretty wide. I'm just going to follow his line. Unfortunately, my teammate Riley disconnected at the bottom of the screen there, but more importantly, overtake mode and rich mix well and truly enabled. We've got 4.5 tenths, which is quite big actually with 1 lap to go. This is my last opportunity to try and go for it, to take the win. Neither of us any penalties, so it's all or nothing really. Using all the overtake and rich mix I can. He's going to go defensive into the next corner. I'm especially right hand side. Got my car ahead into the braking zone, braking so late. He's gone pretty early there, but I locked on my front left. He's going to come back and push me off the track a little bit, and I was a little bit annoyed by that move. But yeah, fair, like I don't know, I don't know what would have happened, but he was fair enough. I'm in the party with him as well, so I pretty much said that I would be taking that to the stewards because I thought he pushed me off. I had my car ahead and he ran me over the curb completely. And through this high-speed section, very, very close race in here, but obviously nothing doing. It's just so hard to overtake anywhere on this track apart from that massive straight. But he's going to actually let me through because he sort of agreed with me that it was just over the line, and luckily he's going to let me through. And actually Bigsy ran out of fuel as well, so even if he didn't let me through, I might have won anyway. But either way, round the final corner we come, and it's going to be back-to-back wins in AOR. And that was such an intense race from Bigsy. Absolutely fair play for his pace throughout that race was insane. So yeah, very, very good stuff, and I'm very happy with the win. Obviously, I would have rather won it legitimately, but he let me through because he thought his move was over the line, which I sort of agreed with. So fair enough to him for letting me through. Very sportsmanlike, and yeah, that's going to be back-to-back wins. My championship lead is pretty big now because Daigoro actually didn't make it to this race. He was doing something else. And Bigsy obviously is a new driver, so he's going to start from 0 on race 3. So my lead is, I think, up to 20 points from Ruben, who've got another podium, 3 podiums in a row for him, so very well done. And Scotty getting a good result in 4th there where he started. But yeah, that makes it 3 podiums in a row for me. I'm very happy with my start of the season, and yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been J183, and I will see you next time.